You've definitely seen it, right? That classic symbol of the three golden balls hanging outside a shop. But what if I told you it represents a story that's over 3,000 years old? A story packed with kings, queens, empires, and even the discovery of America? Well, get ready, because we're about to pull back the curtain on the secret history of the pawn shop.
So, let's just start with a question. What on earth could possibly connect medieval royalty with one of the most famous explorers in history? The answer, I promise you, is not what you're thinking, and it's the key to this whole incredible story.
And there you have it. They all used pawnbrokers. I mean, think about this. King Edward III pawned his own jewels just to pay for a war against France. Queen Isabel of Spain? She did the exact same thing to fund Columbus's voyage across the Atlantic. Heck, even the Bank of England itself was founded on the core ideas of pawning. This isn't just about some small-time loans. This is a financial tool that has literally shaped the world we live in.
To really understand just how much it shaped the world, we have to go back, way back. Because, you see, this isn't some new idea. It's one of the oldest financial professions on the entire planet.
That's right. For over 3,000 years, people have been using their valuable items to get their hands on short-term credit. It's a practice that has managed to survive and even thrive through countless different civilizations.
And you can literally trace its journey across the ancient world. It all seems to kick off in 5th century China, where Buddhist monasteries were actually offering loans to local peasants. From there, it became a common sight in ancient Greece and was so widespread in the Roman Empire that they had to write specific laws just to govern it, some of which still have an influence today. The whole practice even came to Britain with William the Conqueror.
And you know, that Roman influence is so strong, it even gave us the word itself. Pawn comes directly from the Latin word patinum, which just means to pledge. It's a straight line, linguistically, right back to the ancient world.
Now, for centuries, pawnbroking existed in all these different forms, but it was in medieval Italy that it really morphed into the system we'd recognize today. And this, my friends, is where the story gets really, really interesting.
The absolute key players here were the Lombard merchants. They came from the super wealthy region in Italy called Lombardy, and these guys basically professionalized the whole business. They set up shops all over Europe and became so influential that, for a while, people didn't even say pawnbroker, they just called them Lombards.
And it's with the Lombards that we get the birth of that unforgettable symbol, the three golden balls. It's a sign that's recognized all over the globe, but where did it actually come from?
So here's the fun part. Historians aren't 100% sure. The first theory is pretty straightforward. The Lombard merchants hung 3 gold coins outside their shops, and over time they just became spheres to be more visible from down the street. But the second theory is that it's adapted from the family crest of the Medicis, the most powerful banking family in all of Europe. Their influence was just off the charts. It's a bit of a historical mystery, but either way, both roads lead right back to medieval Italy.
And if you need any proof of just how mainstream this whole business became, get this. By the 16th century, the practice was so established that Pope Leo X, who was a Medici himself, by the way, declared it a legally recognized profession. He even threatened to excommunicate anyone who questioned its morality. I mean, that is a serious endorsement.
Okay, so we've seen how powerful this idea has been all through history. But what's the actual engine that makes it all run? Well, it's surprisingly simple.
It all boils down to one simple word: collateral. It's just an asset, something you own that's valuable, that you pledge to a lender to secure a loan. If, for whatever reason, you can't pay it back, the lender gets to keep the asset. It's their safety net.
And what's wild is that the basic process has barely changed in hundreds of years. You bring something in, the pawnbroker takes a look and figures out what it's worth, then makes you an offer. If you agree, you get cash right there on the spot. And once you pay back the loan plus interest, you get your item back. It's simple, it's fast, and it's effective.
But here's a really key detail. A pawnbroker is never going to offer you the full value of your item. They use what's called a loan-to-value ratio, or LTV. So they might offer you, say, 80% of what your item is worth. This protects them in case the value of that item goes down over time. It's a fundamental part of how they manage their risk.
Okay, so let's hit the fast-forward button and jump to the present day to see how this ancient idea has adapted to our very modern world.
And this is a fantastic comparison. In ancient Rome, it was actually illegal to pawn things people needed to live and work, like their clothes, their furniture, or their farming tools. Now you fast forward to today, and high-end pawn shops are dealing in fine art, classic cars, luxury watches, even collections of rare wine. The principle is exactly the same, but the collateral? Well, that has definitely evolved.
And what's so amazing is that the legacy of those original Italian merchants is literally written on the maps of our modern cities. I mean, from London all the way to San Francisco, major cities around the globe have a Lombard Street. And that is not a coincidence. It's a direct historical marker, a little clue pointing to where these powerful financial hubs used to be.
So, that kind of brings us to our final thought here. Look, we live in an age of credit cards, online loans, instant financing. You can get money in seconds. So why then does this 3,000-year-old profession not only survive, but actually thrive? What does its incredible endurance tell us about our relationship with money, with value, and with history itself?